Hey folks, this is Jake Davis with a wrestling recap for you today. I'm going to be talking about Hell in a Cell 2020 last night from the Thunderdome at the Amway Center in Orlando, Florida. This was the 12th annual Hell in a Cell. I just totally diluted it by now. But the last two Hell in a Cell matches ended with some of the worst booking and decision making in the history of pro wrestling. So at least this didn't do that. Truth is, it was an okay show. We kick off with what, quite frankly, I would have bet $1 would have been the main event. I Quit match for the Universal Championship. Roman Reigns with Paul Heyman in his corner defending against Jey Uso. This was a very uncomfortable match to watch. Roman keeps hitting spears. Jey keeps hitting splashes. Jey pulls out chokes out Roman Reigns with a strap. And then Roman comes to and he chokes Jey back out with the Zbyszko lock, the guillotine headlock. Then neither guy's quitting. And then Roman Reigns hits the drive-by, smacking Jey's head into the ring post on the ring apron. And Jey doesn't move after that for like fucking 7 minutes. He sets up the ring steps. He hits it again. Jey's not responsive. Jey's not moving. It looks like he's dead. The referee wants to call for the bell. Roman won't let him do it. It's an I Quit match. Throws the referee over the top rope. All people, there's security and referees, and everybody's trying to come down. They're trying to let Roman let them stop the match. Roman brings in the ring steps. He's got Jey still not moving, pinned down with him. He's talking all kinds of shit like a fucking Shakespeare villain. Jimmy comes out, starts begging Roman, man, just let it go. We're family, man. This is Josh. What's wrong with you? Roman drops the steps, collapses on the mat, starts weeping, crying. I don't know what's wrong with me. What I've become, I don't even know who I am anymore. Jimmy reaches in to console him and locks in fucking Jimmy in the goddamn guillotine. Choking out Jimmy, just choking him and choking him and choking him. Jey finally slowly comes to. He sees referees and everybody trying to pull Roman off Jimmy Uso. He gets in there trying to pull him off too, and finally he says, I quit, just let him go, man, I quit. After the match, the two brothers are on the fucking mat, heartbroken. Roman Reigns leaves the ring, and they're the Wild Samoans at the top of the stage waiting for him. And I thought they were just gonna brush past him, you humiliate the family. But no, they anoint him. They give him a lay, they erase his hand, and then three of them turn their back on the Usos and leave together. Now, I've seen more brutal Hell in a Cell matches. I've seen better worked wrestling. But as just far as pure storytelling, heart-wrenching agony, as far as the acting, theater part of pro wrestling goes, some of the best shit I've ever seen. This was a great match. That's phenomenal. Quite frankly, it was hard to give a shit about the show for the next hour. Well, it wasn't just because of that match. Because up next we have Elias versus Jeff Hardy. And the whole storyline here is, many months ago during the IC title tournament, Sheamus ran over Elias with Jeff Hardy's car. Elias has come back months later thinking Jeff did it, even though we had a whole feud and storyline that resolved all this shit. They just had to bring back Elias, and I guess they want to make him heel again, so we're doing it this way. Elias does his usual thing to the entrance. Jeff Hardy, they do wrestle back and forth a little bit. Eventually, Elias goes to hit him with the guitar. Jeff takes it away from him and hits Elias with the guitar. The referee calls for the bell. Elias wins by DQ. This match was a nothing. I mean nothing. It had no real build. It had made no sense to why they're really fighting. And the match itself had no meat. There seems to be a serious problem WWE's been having the last few years in their October pay-per-views. A lack of build, a lack of give a shit around making the card. They'll announce like maybe 2 or 3 matches going in, and then just, fucking throw the rest together on the night. I mean, shit, man. I understand that it's the network, and you probably don't make as much money off these shows as you used to, especially with COVID. But, I mean, shit. Try. Fucking try. there's 6 matches on this show in all, and other than 3 Hell in a Cell matches, like, no care or thought or give a fuck went into anything else on the whole show. Next up was the Money in the Bank match, which in-ring work, it's the finish is what mattered here. The Money in the Bank match, Otis with Tucker in his corner defending his contract or his lunch pail against The Miz with Morrison in his corner. The whole thing is over months now. Miz has been trying to ruin Tucker's life. He thinks he's an embarrassment. I won the Money in the Bank and have used it to elevate myself and make myself a bigger star. You are a joke. You're an embarrassment to the contract. You're an embarrassment to this industry. I'm going to take that shit off you. I'm going to liberate the Money in the Bank. I mean, like I said, it's not really. Guys, not like the guys have the best chemistry. It's a bit of a oil and water situation. You know, they don't have. I mean, I guess it's not that bad. It's not like watching Hogan and Warrior, but I mean, John Morrison keeps interfering. He goes to hit Otis with the briefcase. The referee catches him, throws him to the back. Miz tries to escape. Otis drags him back in the ring, pulls a whole ring apron up into the ring. I thought that was really funny. While the referee's trying to get the ring apron back where it is, Tucker hits Otis with the briefcase. Miz covers, and the Miz is the new 2-time Mr. Money in the Bank, joining Edge and CM Punk. Tucker turning heel should have happened months ago, quite frankly. Because now he's on Raw, and are they gonna have their feud? Are they gonna just have the whole draft in? They're gonna have to work out a way for Otis to be on Raw, because everyone Otis was working with has either betrayed him or been drafted now, and now he doesn't even have his lunch pail. So, I mean, I thought it was a shocker that he won the first place, but just for him to drop the contract months later. It's almost like them admitting, we didn't know what the fuck to do with this year. Sorry. Again, like with Hell in a Cell, Money in the Bank, maybe you should just stop doing it for a while until you have some actual ideas about what to do with one. You know what I mean? Next up was the SmackDown Women's title, Hell in a Cell match, Bayley versus Sasha Banks. I mean, they've technically been building up to this match for like a little over 4 fucking years. Planting the seeds, being patient, being too fucking patient, stretching it out too long at times. But over the last year, especially during the pandemic, Bayley and Sasha have been one of the biggest highlights of WWE's programming over the last few months. They have a terrific match here. Lots of weaponry. They definitely use the most weapons of the 3 cell matches. They got kendo sticks, steel chairs, bust out a fucking ladder, tables. I love this bit where Sasha has Bayley pinned up against the cell. She runs up with a table under her throat, runs up the table, hits her immediate aura. That was really cool. Double knees to the face. I like that. The finish comes where Sasha gets the damn steel chair wrapped around Bayley's throat, locks her in the bank statement, and is stomping on the damn legs of the chair while the bitch's head is stuck in it. Bayley finally taps out, putting it into her year-long title reign. Considering, I mean, she won the title like a few days after my second daughter was born, in May of last year, and then she only lost the title for like literally like 2 days, maybe 4, in between those 2 reigns. So she had like a hell of a run with a belt this time. And let's just hope Sasha Banks is able to successfully defend her championship for once. Just one time, let the woman defend her title. Okay, so next up is and that, by the way, is probably the most, as far as just enthralling and fun and just invested, probably my favorite match of the night. Even though all 3 Hell in a Cell matches are really good. Next up is, I guess, was booked on the pre-show. We cut to the Hurt Business backstage. They've challenged Retribution or whatnot. And Bobby Lashley's going to put the U.S. title on the line against one of these jackasses. A guy named Slapjack. Might as well just call him Jackass. He comes out, but he tries to fight Bobby Lashley, but it's fucking Bobby Lashley. Lashley gets the Master Lock on, the Hurt Lock, or whatever the fuck they're calling it now. The guy taps out, and like before the bell even rings, both factions hit the ring. The Hurt Business fuck up Retribution, run them off. I mean, getting serious Nexus vibes with Retribution. These guys have just been nothing but buried since he actually started wrestling. And, they already kind of fucked him. I was intrigued. I really was. But I think, well, first off, two things I think they should have done different. They shouldn't have been popping up every week. Should have been more of a when they're going to hit nets. Who are they going to hit nets? Should have them pop up on NXT too. Like that kind of stuff. And secondly, they should have never signed contracts or been given fucking names. And of course, I don't mind Mustafa Ali being the guy, and also tying in the leader, and also tying in the abandoned hacker storyline that going into WrestleMania, all into this one thing. I like kind of tying up loose ends, I appreciate that effort. But, they're fucking these guys over. And probably the most annoying thing of it all is Mia Yim. She might as well be wearing a t-shirt with her name on it. There's no point of her wearing a mask. You could not tell, more obviously, that's Mia Yim. But yeah, this was, again, a nothing match. And I would say didn't belong on the card, but the thing is, it's like this match show had no card. They just throw in a couple of extra matches, so it's not just the cell matches. Main event time. Randy Orton challenges Drew McIntyre for the WWE World Championship. Point out, this is the first time Drew McIntyre has main evented a pay-per-view as WWE Champion. Randy Orton attacks Drew during his entrance from behind dressed as a cameraman. But Drew cuts him off, sees it coming, eyes him back his head, they fight. They finally get into the ring. Drew finally strips Randy out of his costume. He's in his actual gear. I enjoyed this. There's a lot of stalling, a lot of slow push a guy's face into the steel cage or close up right into the camera kind of shots. Eventually Orton gets loose, gets out of the cage, you get on top of the cell. Drew follows him up there, but Randy's stashed a lead pipe up there. He whacks Drew in his right knee. So, which I thought was cool, playing old school kind of stuff. If you take out the knee, he can't hit the claymore kind of thing. Orton tries to climb back down. Drew goes after him, but Orton knocks Drew off the side of the cell. Drew crashes through the announce table. Guys finally eventually get back into the ring. Drew hits a surprise claymore out of nowhere, but Orton slides out of the ring. Drew throws him back into the ring, goes for a second claymore, but Orton ducks it, pops up, RKO out of nowhere. 1, 2, 3, new 14-time world champion Randall Keith Orton. Did not see this coming. I did not expect him to win the championship tonight, and I, quite frankly, couldn't be happier. This guy should be surprised. So, going into, this week of programming, I'm interested. Randy Orton's been terrorizing Monday Night Raw ever since the Royal Rumble, and now he's the champ. The Miz is Mr. Money in the Bank. The Usos have been kicked out of the family. Bayley's historic run is over. There's a reason to watch WWE TV this week, which is exactly the feeling you should get after a pay-per-view. So I enjoyed the pay-per-view overall, even though some lazy booking. It's hard to get involved in most of, half the card. I will say that they should stop. They gotta stop with Hell in a Cell. We've had more Hell in a Cell pay-per-views when we had King of the Ring or Bash at the Beach, and nobody still gives a fuck about these things. I hope y'all like this. Like, comment, subscribe, all that kind of stuff. I gotta go, help with these kids. I'm Jake Davis, and I'll catch you on the fly.